Hey, how are you all doing? The thumbnail was right on about 50% of who's going to be joining today. So that I am Chris, as you all know. Um, we know we're missing Jake, we're missing Jordan.
Woohoo!
I thought I could run this, but Jake and Jordan don't trust me enough at that point. So then I got to choose. So we've got the adorable Omni Dog Jess joining us. Look at that, all in his luster, his crypto shirt. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
baby.
perfect. I mean, I got my Superman shirt. You've got crypto. I mean, celebrating Superman Day. I know it was
Yeah,
yesterday, but we can celebrate Superman whenever we want.
all day, every day.
We've already got we've got Mike in the chat. We've got back
Oh,
Cato. Good afternoon.
oh,
James, Chris, and Jess, best team up ever. There we
thank
go. Love it.
you.
Alex, hope all is well with you, my friend. How are you feeling, Jess? Matt wants to know.
I'm feeling a lot better, Matt. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you got what is your drink of choice? You got tea.
I do have tea. I leave the tea bag in for some reason.
And Mike, you're right. Never too late to celebrate Superman.
Right.
So, but yeah, so we were actually talking about Superman Day and ordering things and pre-ordering things. At that point, I talked about how I was lucky to snag a pre-order of the McFarlane Superman crypto combo. Looks like it is completely sold out. At least
it is sold out.
At least the pre-orders have sold out. Doesn't mean they won't be coming back at that, but at least pre-orders have at least sold out. So
wow. And I was talking to Chris about how I wanted the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow action figure, but I thought, it's McFarlane stuff. Nobody wants it. It never sells out. And it, of course, sold out immediately across the entire board. Every online retailer, Target, wherever I could go, it sold out. And right in the middle of an Omni Bros broadcast, NFL dude said, Jess, it's in stock right now at, I think it was Entertainment Earth, but I actually can't. No, it was GameStop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was GameStop. And I stopped, I ordered it right in the middle of the show. And then 5 minutes later was out of stock again. So I really appreciated that from NFL dude, because I didn't know everyone was waiting on that figure. And I didn't know that they were waiting on this Superman crypto figure either.
Yeah, they had come out the day before. They'd kind of released the preview and said this would be up for pre-order. A bunch of the figures for the movie were going to go up on pre-order yesterday. And so when I saw that go live, I stopped lawn mowing. I spent about 2.5 hours yesterday in the lawn updating, because I had yesterday actually completely off from work. But what better way to do it than to spend 2.5 hours out with my day off out there?
Haven't you taught your kids to do it yet?
Being 8 years old, they're still a little young to be operating.
Oh my gosh. Kids that age in China have already been working half their lives.
You're not necessarily wrong. So yeah, locked in, and then the websites wouldn't load. So I ended up finding it at a Big Bad Toy Box and locked in that pre-order. And but yeah, GameStop. I've used GameStop actually for, I know it's hard to see on camera, but up front I've got a lot of the BVS McFarlane figures. And they ended up being a saving grace of locking in a couple of those figures, because not a lot of people realize that even though GameStop, we make fun of them a lot, they actually can be a saving grace when it comes to figures. So.
Oh, we make fun of them? Why do we make fun of GameStop?
Oh, just because it was always one of those. GameStop still exists. People buy physical games.
Yeah. What's up, Twisted Kister?
And James Gunn's Superman Funkos also. Yes, the Funko Pops are very adorable. Yes, the
crypto. Oh, is there a crypto Funko Pop?
Oh, yes, there is. James will probably find it before I do, but James, it looks like you have a very interested Omni Dog looking for a crypto Funko Pop.
Yeah, I really want the plushie. Obviously, that would be the last plushie I would get until the next one. But I really want crypto.
But yeah, so it was Superman Day yesterday. So I know they didn't put out a trailer, but they put out a behind the scenes look at like about a 5-minute clip. Nothing too revelation. We got to kind of see a little bit more of Lex Luthor in a nice purple suit. Nicholas Hoult being a little more Lex Luthor. So, but nothing too much. James Gunn, when he put out that 5-minute, I guess, teaser with Minecraft, he said, "Yeah, just put that out. It's gonna be a bit before we release another trailer." So my guess is sometimes next month. So
I'm okay with just the teaser.
Yeah. Oh, I know you'd like to stay as much out in the dark as possible.
Yeah. I saw I could have stopped right after the crypto part, and that would have been enough. I already would have said, okay, day one, first showing.
All you need. Lex looks so good. And then Max in the chat, I want Lockheed plushie and a Beak action figure and a life-size cutout of
Beak action figure. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, so yeah. So how did you celebrate Superman Day yesterday?
I read a bunch of Batman. Sorry.
I mean, that's the way you should at that point. Don't read Superman.
I read. I'm almost caught up with Superman, and I am way behind on Batman. So I'm in the middle of Tiny Onion's Batman Omnibus, and I read as fill-in stuff for the Joker War. I read Joker War Saga, Nightwing, Joker War, and Batgirl Joker War. And they were all, oh, great, thank you. Oh, Amazon, okay, thank you, James. So yeah, I'm determined to get caught up on Batman like I am Superman.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to. Probably after this stream, I'll start reading the weeklies for this week. At that point, it's been very busy 3 weeks, and actually, my in-laws are in town, so they're upstairs with the grandkids and occupying the time. It's always great to have the in-laws because then the kids are like, I don't want to play with you, mommy and daddy, anymore. I want to play with grandma, papa. I won't take too much offense to that.
Yeah.
Alex saying, I'm curious, as the only mildly sane Snyder fan I know, what did you think of Lex Chris? Oh, mildly sane? I'm mildly sane. Oh, I mean, I do hang out with people like Jess and everything like that, so I guess my sanity goes a little bit down.
Wait, I'm a Snyder fan of the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yeah, that's what he's referring to. So what do you think of his Lex? His Lex Luthor, I don't hate on as much in it because I take it for what it is in the sense of a, not to get political, I'm not trying to. I was saying I equate him to kind of an Elon Musk before Elon Musk got more in the zeitgeist at that point. Again, a tech billionaire who just has a god complex. So I thought, is it my all-time favorite portrayal of Lex? No, I wouldn't say it's all my favorite portrayal, but I don't even come close to hating on it. Some people, but I understand why people don't like it. So it was probably the biggest change for Lex Luthor than I'm used to at that point, because I'm used to the real estate or the scientist or the businessman kind of one. So I hadn't seen necessarily how he did it. So I like different interpretation because it makes me think. What about you, Jess? What do you think of that portrayal of that with Jesse Eisenberg?
I'm trying to think if I've answered this before. I think with Jessica when we talk about Superman every month, and I'm trying to decide if I have a problem with his portrayal of Lex or if I have a problem with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, fair.
Because he seemed like the same character he was in Social Network, which I guess makes sense because maybe that's the tech god complex type person he played in Social Network. I'm trying to think of a movie where I really like Jesse Eisenberg.
I like him in Zombieland.
I was just going to say, I did dig Zombieland. I think that was my first introduction to Emma Stone, and then I became a big Emma Stone fan. I really like Zombieland. I thought that movie was really good with Bill Murray actually in it. That's amazing.
In Ghostbusters gear too, you nonetheless.
I need to watch that again. So yeah, I'm sort of I don't care enough to dislike him. I don't hate him. I'm sort of wishy-washy on him. I really, what I really didn't like, and I know I've said it before, but I know that people are gonna hate me for it. I never really cared for Gene Hackman's jokey Luthor, and
I'm with you on that.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
I am. Nope, you're not the only one. I mean, I like Gene Hackman as an actor.
Oh yeah,
but I got into the comics before I saw Superman the movie, so I already had a kind of my impression of what Lex was. So it kind of was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, he was just too jokey for me to take him seriously. I love Valerie Perrine, but I don't know. I couldn't. He didn't seem what's the word? He didn't seem not scary enough, but he didn't seem threatening. He didn't seem as threatening as I think this. I don't know that I've seen Nicholas Hoult in anything, but I mean, just from the teaser, he already looks threatening, and he didn't even say anything. It was just the look on his face.
Yeah,
he already looks threatening. So
yeah, I'm excited to kind of see finally, because all we've ever seen is just him turning around and being frustrated when he sees Superman go across the screen. So, and then him holding a gun. So, it's going to be good. So we got Kane in the chat saying, just got back from a hike, got some sunburn and walked a little over 5 miles. Okay. Well, hopefully the sunburn's not too bad. David in the chat, we are doing well. Twisted Kister, I didn't like that as very exec. I couldn't see him as a threat. I think anime. I'm a huge Clancy Brown fan as an actor, but his voice as Lex Luthor, I mean, that is very much intimidating. So,
Nicholas, okay. In the
First Class.
Okay, the Young X-Men.
Yep.
Well, okay. Then I guess I've seen him in that, but wasn't he all furry? I guess
at one point, then he turned furry.
Okay. So yeah, not quite intimidating, but I think threatening is the word I was looking for, Kane. I don't. I mean, just seeing that face that you just talked about, Nicholas Hoult make, I was already threatened by him. But I don't know. Yeah, he looked intimidating too. So you're right, Kane. Intimidating, threatening. I never felt that way about Gene Hackman.
Alex agrees. Clancy's Lex is the definitive version for me. Yeah.
And is that in Superman the animated show?
Yep. Superman animated show, Justice League Unlimited. So
okay, I still have to catch up on that. Which
so good.
James knows it'll take me 5 years, since that's what it took me for.
As we say, we add it to the list.
Yes.
The list it continues to grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and anything you got hauled this week? Anything you want to show off?
I don't I got audio equipment, but I didn't get any I got a CD player, so
there you go.
That's in the other room. That's really I don't think
we won't make you get it.
It's not hooked up yet. So, I mean, I just got it yesterday. So actually Jake and Jordan both helped me pick some stuff out, and that's where I got all my audio equipment from, was from Jake. I don't think
Jorge and Kane have Jorge saying what's a CD player, and Kane says CD players rule.
They do, and I'll tell you why. When I think of it, I'm really starting to get frosted at some of these streaming services. I pay for high def sound, and nobody's saying I need the Dead Kennedys in high definition, but at half their catalog, wasn't even available. And then I found out West Side Story, the original soundtrack from, the 1960 or 61, whenever it was. I think I still have that on physical CD, but it's not available on Amazon streaming service. So I'm going to have to look around because I love that soundtrack and it was available and now it's not. I'm starting to be with the people that like physical media only, for TV and movies and music, which I guess is all there is. But but I get it now that I don't want somebody telling me that I can't listen to it.
Yeah, it's the debate. I mean, space is always a big thing. So I mean, I've had to, get what I really, really want, and then understand that if I don't really want it, I have to understand, like, if it's streaming, it may go away unless I find a way to physically kind of digitally own it, literally, instead of just having it. But even I remind people too, well, I bought it, so it should be mine. I said, yeah, look at the terms and conditions. You've technically bought a lease of it as long as they have it,
Yeah. There was a hit, like, I say in quotes, a hit song on this album I bought. And I mean, it was a minor hit back in the early 2000s. And I actually bought it from iTunes way back. And the hit is now not available, and I bought it.
Yeah.
I paid money for this thing. And the rest of the album's available, but not the hit. I'm like, you're right. I was like, wait, didn't I pay for this thing?
Yep. Streaming's frustrating.
Yeah.
All the rights issues, half the albums. I remember when, right at the like, I remember there was a huge deal when Comixology was a thing, and there's a great deal on, like, all the digital of the Transformers, IDW, G.I. Joe. So I snagged those all up, and I have them. I can still access them, but at any point, Amazon could basically just say, no, you can't access it anymore. I know I can still have downloaded a number of times, but you can't buy those anymore digitally through Amazon because IDW doesn't hold the license anymore. But Amazon still has it in its catalog, but at any point they could say, sorry, you can't access this anymore. And I paid money for it. So I have an alternative way that I still have it digitally in case that doesn't happen. But unfortunately, that's the risk. So, we got someone sneaking in. We got, looks like Jake. Yep.
What up?
Jake and Jordan. Hi, guys. Jake is moving, and I'm sure Jordan's helping him move.
I thought they were going to some signing.
Nope, not anymore. That changed.
Oh, it did?
It changed, yeah, because he's got a lot to do with the move still. I'm trying to help our boy understand rational decisions,
Oh, you're the angel on his shoulder, and I'm the devil on his shoulder.
Oh, sometimes he doesn't listen to me, and we'll go with you, but it's okay. It'll balance out.
I think you've been a big influence on him, a positive influence, a very positive influence.
Matt says, I still use my CDs all the time. It's a way of actually owning my music. Is the new volume of I believe it is. It was scheduled to be last week. It's not in our slides because, well, one, I didn't put in our slides last week because I didn't think OPB carried it. So it was supposed to come out last week, but it is coming out this week. I think OPB is carrying it. So
OPB is?
I believe so. I believe.
Let me look at organic. I mean, comic releases, and let's see where is comic.
If while you're looking, if you happen to be, going to OPB and buying anything we'll show off in just a little bit, use that code, save $2 by buying 1 to 3 books with the code Brave Boys, or save 5% by buying 4 or more books with Brave Boys Sit. You can use those in limited amount of times.
Speaking of organic price books, they say it's coming 4/23. That's this.
Okay. That is this week.
Okay.
So
Volume 6. Nice.
Jake and or Jordan are saying, I don't know why I thought I could move a whole house and my comic collection in one day and make it to Mark Wade signing the next day. I'm going to be moving for a week. You're going to be living out of boxes for weeks. I'm not even talking about your book boxes. You're just going to be living out of boxes for like at least a month. And then he's going to be living out of a suitcase because he's coming here to Charlotte for Heroes Con in 2 months. So, you know, I'm going to ask him saying, how many boxes are you still living out of by the time he gets here in June?
Yeah, I think on the Omni Bros channel, I'm going to start a over under on how soon you kick him out from staying with you.
It would, you know, we could start that saying the bets too. What I'll see exactly what the stakes are. Maybe I'll put my money in it there just to.
That'd be insider trading, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got a few things to show off.
Good.
Two books in a game. 2 books in a game.
Oh, so, game. Let's see.
So we start off with got this earlier in the week. Vagabond, Volume 2. I've got to say, I love Berserk, but Vagabond, man, I'm telling you, this presentation here, the faux kind of like canvas feel of it, this, you know, the little leaflet they've got, you know, the book cover. It's just, one of my goals for the summer is to start really digging into some of my manga backlog, and I've heard nothing but very positive things about Vagabond. I know it's not finished, and don't know if it ever will be finished, but you tell me a good samurai story at that point. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. So,
nice.
Then let's call it the Omni. That's an OHC, really.
All right.
I got the DM cover of Secret War, and this is because I remember I talked about it last week when I got it, and I wanted. So this is the original. This is the OHC for Secret War. Big difference is this does not have Pulse 6 or 9, which is the conclusion of like kind of the story. So I'm looking at, you know, it's an OHC, so it's gonna be the same size. It's just a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
The original. So it's not too much different.
Yeah, I read this book a couple weeks ago, and I need to reread it because I felt like I was missing something, and I'll put that on me, because I remember I don't know. It was so secret. I forgot what even happened. It was so secret.
Yeah, Nick Fury, the big secret.
Yeah,
and then the game I picked up from Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm a big fan of the series, so.
Oh, tell me about Xenoblade. I've heard about it, but what do you do in it?
Well, it's kind of, you know, it's a big RPG. In this one, this is the kind of was only on the, I believe it was the Wii U. So this is the first time they've ported it, but they've upgraded all the graphics and everything. But the cool thing about this is that you get to operate mechs. At some point in the game, you can start working on with mechs. So I'm very excited to start building that into my.
Is it like an overhead camera RPG?
Nope, it's third person. So yeah, so you see everything.
Oh, okay. Can you show me the back so I can get an idea of what the? Yeah, let me look at this to see if I want to put this on my delusional stack of video games.
Kane looks like he's a big fan of Xenoblade. Woo, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Alex, no, I have not played Zone of Enders, so I cannot speak to that. But yeah, so that's my small haul this week. I think I've got Wolverine Jason Aaron on the way to me. Should be here sometime next week. So
nice. Yeah. That just came back in print, right?
Yes. So I need that, and then I need Wolverine Goes to Hell to come back into print, and then I think it's just at that point just a whole bunch of new omnis for Wolverine. So
is I feel like Wolverine and the X-Men wait, is it Wolverine and the X?
Yep, that's another Jason. That's another Jason. That's one where Wolverine is the headmaster. That's post Schism.
Yeah, I feel like that one might be out of print just for
Yeah.
all the reading I did. I mean the reading. I made a video on making sure that people voted on the Marvel reprint poll. Omnidog's
Yeah.
Vault.
Make
Thank
sure
you.
you do that.
James will be putting it in the chat shortly. To vote in it, and I was amazed at how many books were really out of print. There's
the
entire Deadpool catalog, all of Guardians of the Galaxy, a ton of Daredevil. There's
Omar said like the one that broke the metric for them was Daredevil Soul. Apparently, it's far and away the number one choice. I mean, obviously the first season just wrapped up, so. And there we go, James putting it in there, how I voted.
And it has a link in the description box for you to click and go vote yourself. Don't use that link. Use my link. It takes you there.
Yeah, it's very nice of you, Jess, to promote Omar. He needs all the help he can get, right?
Well, let's see. Let me see how many people have used the link I provided.
Okay, and I'll check it out. I've got a huge backlog, so it'll probably be a while, but I'll add it to the list.
Oh, 165 people have used it.
Okay,
that's real numbers for me. So that's good.
You're right, Twisted. It is a convenient Kalax crevice filler. Yes, I would agree with that. But yeah, I voted for. I'm Punisher is one of my biggest gap fillers right now.
Yeah.
So I spent my top 3 votes on Max Volume 2, the Punisher Goes Back to War, and then what was the other Punisher? There was one more.
I think both
Punisher by Ennis, not the Max. So
yeah, both Ennis books are out of print, which I was surprised at.
So I have volume 1 of the Max line, so I need volume 2. I need just Punisher by Ennis, and then Frank Goes Back to War. So that's kind of like all the early years of Punisher. And then I threw a vote behind Secret Wars 2, and then there's one more. Can't remember, but yeah. So that's I'm going all in. Even if Punisher Max Volume 2 makes it, all I need is one book, and then I'm good.
Well, there are an awful lot of books on there that really should be in print.
Agreed.
Like all the time, especially those Daredevil books. And I guess a lot of people I guess a lot of people missed out on the Charles Soule one. So yeah, I can see how people want that one, since it's kind of it's right before Zdarsky, right?
Yeah, it's right before Zdarsky. I remember when it first came out, my copy came in, and our buddy BJ had the same issue as it. Like the cutting of the actual pages on the printer didn't work so well, so there were lots of like whole groups of pages that we literally had to open it page by page in order to separate it, because the printer cutter didn't do this. So we weren't like it was a pretty prevalent issue at that point, so we had to be so careful so we didn't like rip anything at that point.
Did you have to like X-Acto knife them open? Or
thankfully not X-Acto knife, but you just had to kind of, luckily there was enough like give where you could do it, but as Brent and I were like, we wouldn't advise anyone just like could you just be possibly ripping stuff. So thankfully I was able to get that done, but that was a first for Omni. I've had pages upside down, I've had double pages, I've had completely destroyed dust jackets. So
mine's still in the shrink wrap.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping next year will be reprint heavy, since not so many this year. Yeah, we'll have to see. Again, I can understand why Marvel emphasizes a lot of the new stuff, just because they know it'll sell automatically since it's already in the zeitgeist. So
yeah.
But all right, let's you want to talk about what's coming out this week?
Sure.
All right. So I know you don't have admin rights, Jess, but chat, I can't do both at the same time. So Jess will have to kind of read stuff as they kind of go through.
Oh, sure. Okay, sure.
There we go. How's it looking? All
It's
full?
loading. There it is.
Okay. So these are the new releases for this coming week, April 22nd. A much better selection. In my opinion, we're not necessarily starting off the greatest note, but I'm, not my cup of tea. So we've got Cosmic X-Men Omnibus standard cover coming out this week. So this is a lot of the cosmic stories coming from the world of X-Men, from Phoenix to the Phoenix Saga is going to be in here. We've got Sword in here. We've got Vulcan and the Shi'ar. We've got Rogue and Gambit on Honeymoon. A whole lovely collection. Now, I do like the cover because that's from, the Astonishing X-Men run. And then you've got this as the DM cover. Quite a difference in the sense of eras, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see the thumbnail. Is this the book I'm holding?
Yeah. Oh, no, this is the book I'm holding. You are not holding anything because Jake's move, he did not get a chance to update the thumbnail, so it still shows Jordan. So nobody knew you were going to be in here except for us. So
okay.
So yeah, I make fun of this book. I understand why it's existing because of the Imperium storyline that's getting ready to happen this summer in Marvel Comics. So I think when Omar had put this out there as one of his breaking news, people were like, "Why is this coming out?" And he said, "Wait, it'll make sense." I mean, I get it makes sense, but not for me. Happy for everyone else, and it's money saved for me. So.
Oh, and it's got a current Marauders and that Mr. and Mrs. X. That was a great.
Yep.
Oh, that's a book. That's a series that should be made in Omni. Kelly Thompson's Rogue and Gambit and Mr. and Mrs. X. That stuff's out of print. It really needs to be an Omni.
Well, so this is the way you get it right now, at least.
Okay.
So that's coming out this week. And then we got one book I'm excited for, Dark Knights of Steel Deluxe Edition. So this is coming from Tom Taylor. Sorry, from the Elseworlds line. So I really love this series. I mean, I'm a Tom Taylor fan. So in the Elseworlds line, you're taking heroes and putting them in new and different situations. So in this story, peace between the kingdoms of El and the kingdoms of Storms and the Amazons have always been uneasy. But when a member of the royal family of El is assassinated to prevent a dark prophecy from coming true, the only remaining course is all-out war. But was the prophecy accurate, or is the greater evil responsible for setting the three realms against each other? Swords will clash, spells will be cast, blood will be spilled, and the war of the three kingdoms begins. So this will collect the entire series, at least the first iteration of this series, and then Dark Knights of Steel, Tales from the Three Kingdom #1. So this will be an oversized format. So this is the standard cover that got put out there. And I actually prefer this cover, even though the artist for the DM is I'm a huge fan of it. I just don't like white space. But
so this got two covers too, huh?
Yep, this got two covers as well. If I love the Elseworlds, I'm so happy they brought it back. But this story, putting these heroes in a feudal, kind of English kind of setting at that point, it's always cool in the sense of, when is this hero going to come? How is this going to be different? They have done a follow-up, a spin-off series called All Winter with Deathstroke. That was pretty good. That was about, I believe, 3 or 4, I believe it was 5 issues that just wrapped up. And so this is the direct market cover by Dan Mora.
Oh, that is a nice cover. I get what you're saying about white space, but that is a cool cover.
Yeah.
I loved Dark Knights of Steel, and everyone's welcome. You're welcome because I picked it up in 2 standard hardcovers.
Here we go.
I know. I'm gonna get the deluxe edition, and that will enable everyone to get the absolute, which is what I'll do.
Yep. So he has already announced there is going to be a sequel series to Dark Knights of Steel. There will be a follow-up series, so no timetable of when that's coming. But
Taylor did?
Yes, there will be more Dark Knights of Steel coming.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, there you go, Kane. Kane's excited for that.
Good. Everyone should be. I highly, highly, and sounds like you just do recommend reading this. Again, you don't. That's the great thing about Elseworlds. You just have a passing understanding of some of these characters, and it's just fun seeing exactly what transpires.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cool twists in this story. Some I definitely didn't see coming.
Yeah, I need to read it again, just because it's been so long. I think Rising Phoenix. I think you can just get this deluxe for now.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough. There aren't even with All Winter. I don't think there are enough stories for not enough for an Omni. But if since Chris is reporting, there's going to be more stories, then maybe there'll be an Omni.
Yeah,
3 or 4 years in the future. But I would, if you don't have this, then Rising Phoenix, you definitely need to get it. It is such a good story.
I mean, again, if you're a Tom Taylor fan, it's Tom Taylor doing what Tom Taylor does best, telling great fast stories. I mean, again, look what he did with Deceased. That's technically an Elseworlds tale now.
Yeah. He does great stuff. He and Tom King, I think, do great stuff with C and D list characters.
Yeah.
This is A-list characters, but Deceased was definitely C-list characters. Boy, that cover, I do like that cover.
I love Dan Mora. I really do. Now, this is again, this could have been a placeholder. He might have actually put some background to it. We won't know until we get it in next week. So,
all
right. And this was what Jordan was holding because I think Jake likes being funny.
Yeah, I should be holding this. This is my kind of stuff.
So DC Finest Superman family, the giant turtle, and Jimmy Olsen in the the Silver Age era was always put through very interesting stuff, especially when you get Fourth World involved. So we said Jimmy Olsen has certainly been through a lot over the years. This brand new volume compiles some of Superman, Lois, and Jimmy's wackiest and wildest Silver Age adventures, including the debut of Giant Turtle Man, who you see on the cover there. All your favorite Superman family members get their chance to shine. Join Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Lana Lang, Streaky the Super Cat, Crypto the Super Dog, and more in these light-hearted tales that's more than like what's really like to be the girlfriend, pal, boss, or pet of the Man of Steel.
I am so getting this, and I am going to read it the minute it comes in.
What I can say about this. This is not for me. This is definitely for you, Jess, and for others like Taylor and what I am happy about is that they are putting Silver Age in DC Finest line and testing and letting it see exactly find like maybe a new audience that they may not be the biggest seller, but can they find a different audience as well that's never known about these Silver Age stories?
Yeah, I 100% agree that this is my tempo and not your tempo. It's the only way I think that I'm ever going to get Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen collected. I don't see, now that DC has this line, I don't see DC doing an Omni for Jimmy Olsen or Lois Lane or even Sugar and Spike. So I would, I definitely want to get this. I so remember all the weird and wacky transformations like Wolfman and Elastalad and all these crazy things he became. So this is definitely the sweet spot of nostalgia for me. It's
and like I said, it's fun. Like I recognize that this is fun stuff. It's you're not meant to take this part seriously. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah. Hey Richard, how's it going? Good to see you here, Richard Fearing.
So on the opposite side, and not saying Godzilla is not fun, but not as lighthearted, we got the Godzilla Library Collection, Volume 4 in trade paperback. So it's a comprehensive line of the books that collect every Godzilla comic series by IDW. This collects the first 12 issues of Rulers of Earth by Chris Maury, Matt Frank, and Jeff Zarno. Giant monsters are appearing across the globe and leaving complete devastation in their wake. When does it not happen when we have giant monsters? But who or what might be behind the attack? It's up to Commander Stephen Woods and his counter kaiju reaction force to hold the monsters at bay, while young Lucy Casperell and her scientific research group, the Kaiju Watchers, attempt to find the truth behind the invasions.
You had me at counter kaiju reaction forces.
I cannot speak to anything like this outside of I'm a Godzilla fan. I love the movies. I love the series on Apple TV Plus. So about Monarch, I'm looking forward to season 2 coming about that.
Wait,
I'm not
what's
a fan.
on Apple TV?
It's a series called Monarch. It's basically about the history of the organization that got kind of introduced in Godzilla, Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh, okay.
So it stars Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell, father and son are in this. I'm just going to leave it at that because it's a cool thing of how they are together in this. So first season was really good, and it was written by comic writer aficionado himself. Matt Fraction was one of the big showrunners for it.
Huh. Okay.
So
I'm interested now.
We got Jupiter's Legacy Library Edition in oversized format. So this is Mark Miller's and Frank Quitely's as the write-ups here. This comic book masterpiece covering 3 generations of superheroes from early 20th century to the far future. So it starts in 1929. 6 friends were called to a mysterious island and returned home with superpowers. The story that unfolds is unlike any other, a huge mythological tale that explores everything, some superheroes enforcing their real-world politics on humanity to the secret alien origins of the human race itself. So this collects the first 2 volumes of Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, I definitely want to get this.
I have never read Jupiter's Legacy, so I'm definitely add that to the to-do pile that ever grows.
I read it in trade paperback. I really like the art a lot, and I felt the story. I thought the story was great. I'm sorry that it got cut so quickly at Netflix. I think that killed any interest.
It definitely killed my interest because before I even started, when I found out it was canceled, I was like, don't have that urge to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I think everybody's like that, but the comic book's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard positive things. So when they said it was like moving to Netflix, I said, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I know this is a big one for me, but definitely our friend who's moving, Jake. So Nightwing Rebirth Omnibus. So this is first time coming into print. Dick Grayson returns to Gotham to reclaim his mantle as part of DC's 2016 Rebirth line. He has taken on many identities: Batman's Robin, a spy, a ghost. Now Dick Grayson gets back to his roots in the beginning of the DC Rebirth era. A new evil has returned to Gotham to threaten everything that Nightwing holds dear to him, while rekindling a former romance with Barbara Gordon, now superstar crime fighter in Gotham. Dick will have to embrace his destiny or watch his life be destroyed forever. So this collects the entire Rebirth run in 1 volume, which is impressive because we know both DC and Marvel like splitting up. So I was very impressed that this stayed as 1 volume.
I don't think I knew that it went that long. I must be missing some. Nope, I got it.
You got it?
I've got it all in oversized hardcover. I think just seeing that it was 43 issues, was surprising. I remember liking this.
Yeah. I'm excited. I was able to it's a big year for Nightwing because you've got the Rebirth coming into print, you've got New 52 coming back into print, and then you've got Tom Taylor's first time half his collection is coming into print. So, and I do like that cover. I really do like that cover.
Yeah, Twisted Kister asks, does Tom Taylor's start immediately after this?
No.
I don't think so.
No, there's not, because there's that Richard Grayson kind of.
Oh,
I think that comes after this. So there's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
I don't have my digital file handy with me, or else I could tell you exactly. But someone in the chat will probably help you out. But I'm 100%, 99.9% confident. No, there's definitely a gap.
Yeah, his Taylor starts at issue 78.
Yeah, so there's a big gap, and that part of Nightwing's run, I know we all like filling our gas, but my humble opinion, it's not good.
It's a gap that doesn't need to be filled.
Phrasing.
Oh yeah, Richard asked, when does Grayson take place? I think Grayson was a New 52 thing.
Grayson's New 52. It's post Forever Evil.
When his identity gets revealed, right?
Yes. Yeah, and he's quote unquote dead.
Right. And next Imaginat says, to you, Chris, Jupiter's Legacy is quite good for Miller and worth it alone for the oversized Quietly art, in my opinion.
And I don't hate Frank Quietly's art, but I don't hate on it. I just know I'm with everyone saying, yeah, he doesn't draw the I would say not a lot of people say not the prettiest women, but you know.
I actually like his art, so I'm okay with it. That's why I want to get it.
I like how when he does his kind of bigger bombastic moments, like I like that kind of stuff that he does with Quietly. So
his Emma Frost is what made me fall in love with Emma Frost. And yes, I'm aware she's an imaginary character, but I'm allowed my comic book crushes.
We have no judgments here. Trust me.
Thank you.
Trust me. I got to see yesterday Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler movie.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you see no trailers for it, it's a horror movie, but it doesn't get to the horror part until 2/3 of the movie. Like, it's a really great character development for 2/3 of the movie, and then it's here we go. Let's go to the horror route. So
is that good?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was
great.
Okay.
I wasn't sure where you were going with it.
It's probably definitely one of the best horror movies. It's definitely top 10 horror movie for me.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Because again, you don't get a lot of horror that does character development. So, but this is another one that's big on my list. Since I just said I spent a lot of my votes for the reprint Pro and Punisher. Rick Remender omnibus for Punisher. So Frank Castle dedicated to his life of killing evil men. So when the former Green Goblin Norman Osborn becomes the head of the U.S. security, what do you expect Frank to do? But when his assassination attempt fails, Osborn's flunky, the Hood, resurrects several long-dead superheroes to hunt the Punisher down. And Dakin, the twisted son of Wolverine, finally manages to kill him. Spoiler alert. But even death won't keep Frank Castle down. When the Legion of Monsters stitch his remains back together, the Punisher is reborn as the terrifying Frankencastle. And I'll tell you right now, some people hate on Frankencastle. You know what? Hate on all. I was here for it all. And this one right here, the DM cover, is the one I went with for this one because look at that art right there. I love it.
Whoa. I never even saw this cover. So cool. Man-Thing's on it.
Man-Thing, got Morbius on there. You got Dracula on there. So, yes, I know people hate on Frankencastle. I was here for every minute of it. It was so far out. Didn't expect it to go that route. And only someone like Rick Remender could put it together.
Ah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is a really cool
that cover. It wasn't even a question. Yeah, that's the standard. It's good, but man.
It's got white space, though, so I can see why you wouldn't.
Exactly. I'm anti-white space. What can I say?
Yeah. I thought this was Dan Brereton too, Chris Brogan.
Yeah, I believe it is.
It is. Okay, yeah. That Dracula definitely looks Brereton-ish to me. I like his art.
Yep. Then we got some epic collections. We got Ultimate X-Men, The Tomorrow People. So the first volume of Ultimate X-Men coming to the epic line. So this is the first 12 issues plus the half issue, the beginning of the Ultimate X-Men line. So you got Miller in here, you got Johns, you got the Kuberts. all throughout this. I know it's not necessarily Ultimate Spider-Man, but kind of like it. It was a guilty pleasure at some point when it got really wacky, just because I was always wondering who's going to come into the Ultimate Universe. How are they going to be ultimized?
Alex is asking, how is the cinematography in Sinners?
Oh my God. I can't remember the name of it, the name of the cinematographer, but was it Ryan Coogler has used her before. He's big on using female cinematographers, but this is one I believe he's used before. There's some great one shots. I did not get a chance to see it on IMAX. It was already, the times doesn't work out for me, but he, particularly the way he filmed camera work in this, he worked with he learned a lot from Christopher Nolan, and the credits he thanks Chris Nolan for as a special thanks to the end of the movie. A lot of the camera work is just it's great. The way the aspect ratio is done. Yeah, this is, I mean, again, Coogler really doesn't miss. And this is his first, like, I know it went down to 99%, but this is his most highest rated on the critically acclaimed. It's the only one. Cinema Score just put out the rating, and it's the first horror movie in 35 years to get an A rating by Cinema Score.
Wow.
So it's good. I mean, got an all-star cast in there. Haley Steinfeld's in there. So, but yeah, if you're not a horror fan, yeah, it does get pretty gruesome towards the end, but I like it. And I believe this is our last one. So, X-Men Epic Collection Mutant Genesis. So, the original team, now called X Factor, takes center stage when Proteus returns from the grave. But when Apocalypse strikes, infecting Cyclops' son Nathan with a deadly virus, Cyclops must make a bitter sacrifice, and the current X-Men return to Earth to find Professor X's old foe Shadow King has risen and taken over Muir Island. It will take the combined strength of X Factor and X-Men to triumph, and when the dust settles, the two teams will become one. An uncanny new status quo is introduced as a deadly confrontation between Magneto and his fanatical acolytes. So this is the end of the this is the beginning, excuse me, not the end, but the beginning of the Claremont Lee run. So he's done come to the end of X Factor on this, combine the teams with Lee and Claremont.
Jewish Dragons is here. Hey, Jewish Dragons. And James says that Sinners is set for video on demand on May 20th, which is when
they already set the date. Wow, okay.
That's when I'll see it.
All right. And Autumn Durald. Okay, same person who did all cinematography for Wakanda Forever. Yeah. Yeah.
Did he do Wakanda Forever?
Ryan Coogler? Yes, he did.
Okay, I still haven't seen that.
I still, Fruitvale Station, I think, is one of his best ever. It was his first major film, but like I said, he's never missed in my book. So yeah, so that is the week. So Jess, what will be your pick of this week?
It has to be Lady Mechanica, Volume 6.
So the one we didn't feature but featured last week in passing.
Okay, of the things you featured.
Yes, of the things that featured.
Boy, there's actually a lot this week that I want to get. I guess the pick for myself will be Jimmy Olsen, DC Finest Superman Family.
Yeah.
And then the more general populace friendly pick would be Jupiter's Legacy oversized library size.
Yeah, you're right. This is a big week. I'm probably counting 3 books for me this week, but I will say the one I'm looking most forward to, I'm going to stick to my guns on this. Keep voting for Punisher on that reprint poll. The M cover, Punisher by Rick Remender.
Yeah, I like that cover a lot.
So yeah, any questions in the chat before Jess and I say our goodbyes for the week? Oh, we got Twisted saying Nightwing and Punisher are definites. Is a maybe. Ultimate X-Men is a maybe.
That Ultimate X-Men. Oh, Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any fun plans for you this weekend, Jess, with the Easter holiday?
Well, I'm going to start it off in Australia. It's Easter. It's tomorrow, so it must be Easter there. It's 6:00 tonight, like in an hour. I have the gang from Aussieverse on at 6 p.m. on Omnidog's Vault. And then tomorrow on Easter, my daughter and I are going to go to some. Thank you, Jane. Wow. How'd you do that? I barely even got done saying it. Thank you. My daughter and I are going to go to some family friends' house for Easter dinner. Upper management is out of town for 2 weeks. So we'll be going over there.
There we go. Jess can play a little bit more.
Play with my CD player.
There you go, your new CD player. James asking, where is the best place to buy graphic novels? That would be Organic Price Books. Use those codes. Brave Boys for $2 off, or for more, 5% off. Use Brave Boys Sit. Set me up for that one.
Yep.
James is Skynet. Yes.
That was one of the quickest things he's done, and he's quick.
Yes, he is. He's always there, always watching at that point. So, well, Jess, as always, thank you for stepping in again this week.
Thank you for having me.
Tell people where they can follow you, and I'll re-put up what James said for the show tonight in an hour.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault. I have a show in an hour called Batter Days in the Batcave, and you can find me. I swear I'm going to get better at Instagram and Blue Sky. I can't promise Blue Sky, but Instagram I'm really going to try and get better at. And I also have a Discord that's really fun. So yeah, there it is. My Discord is really fun. So thank you.
Yep, it's okay, Richard. Good, always good seeing you at that point. But yep, you can follow me on all the socials at Chris Balga. I'm working pretty much everywhere at that point. And then you can always catch me on the Geek Ferris Podcast YouTube channel on Thursday nights at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time for Marvel Alliance. This week, David and I broke down the season finale of Daredevil Born Again, and we broke down the surprise drop of the newest Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that came out this week. We were not prepared for that, and it was a nice surprise to have that, so check that out. And then if you just do audio only, just look up Marvel Alliance and all your podcatchers of choice. So, all right, we will see you next week. Well, I will see you next week. Jess will see you in an hour on his channel, but
yeah,
as peace and love, and as always, stay brave.